Good morning from the National Weather Service here in Pocatello. My name is Carter, and this is your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing for Friday, September 16th. We saw widespread precipitation impacts that continue through this morning as well as the weekend, with some warmer conditions for your Sunday and Monday. Things look to dry out a little bit more early part of next week. I'll be breaking that down for you this morning. Key points we're going to focus on today. Showers and storms yesterday brought some widespread rainfall across much of the forecast area, with those chances for showers and thunderstorms continuing this morning. Bear Lake Airport down there towards Bear Lake in the Southeast Highlands this morning did record 0.88 inches, so approaching an inch of rain in the last 2 hours this morning. So certainly when those winds and breezy conditions down there, coupled with the precipitation, should be seeing those impacts spread further north, decreasing in intensity as it goes. But we were looking at widespread rainfall yesterday, much more isolated for this afternoon. But yesterday we did see those highest totals on the Snake Plain and throughout to the Southeast Highlands. So those morning showers and storms will become more isolated again this afternoon. Thunderstorms begin developing between noontime and around 3 o'clock onward, with those storms tracking west to east. Primary threat's going to be mainly what we saw yesterday. Some gusty winds, small hail, potential for some heavy rain, and the isolated to scattered chances continue through the weekend. We will see warmer conditions Sunday and Monday as an area of low pressure works down the Pacific coast, leaving us on the eastern edge, so we will be seeing continued chances for precipitation through the weekend. Things start to dry out, however, on Monday and Tuesday, with temperatures as far as climbing back up into the 70s to low 80s. So afternoon highs, upper 60s to low 80s, and we will see a return to some breezy southerly winds. So those warm temperatures have to get here somehow. We'll see a pretty stark jump for temperatures, especially Saturday into Sunday, almost 5 to 10 degrees in some locations. With our next potential system arriving midweek, generally around that Wednesday, Thursday time frame, and we'll see some isolated precipitation chances, predominantly in the mountains in between those systems, with some warmer and drier conditions, especially setting up early part of next week. Satellite this morning, you can see those showers and thunderstorms, especially with that cloud cover working through the Southeast Highlands this morning. And areas that we are starting to see some clearing, we do have some patchy, locally dense fog developing across portions of the upper Snake Plain, northeast of Idaho Falls, and west out towards INL this morning. So certainly something to keep in mind if you're headed out the door. Weather risk outlook for the next 5 days. Main concern today is that locally dense fog with some continued precipitation impacts over the next few days. And through your weekend, looks like showers and storms will be continuing for your Saturday and Sunday, with a return to some breezy winds and warmer temperatures on Sunday. For Monday, storms shift further north. We will have the precipitation chances generally in the central mountains, with breezy winds for just about everybody. And then on Tuesday, just a slight chance for some showers and storms over the higher terrain. Take a look at the 24-hour rainfall totals. This is at 3 a.m. Thursday through 3 a.m. this morning. See a large swath of about an inch to an inch and a half across much of the Snake Plain. See where those storms tracked, and we had a pretty large line of thunderstorms that was working up the Snake Plain. Later part of yesterday was bringing some impressive rainfall totals, approaching that 3/4 of an inch to an inch for many locations. But other places, not as much. It was definitely a localized event for sure, just given the convection nature of this storm. So we're not going to be expecting this precipitation impacts further later today. But as far as yesterday, it was certainly some much-needed rainfall for large portions of the forecast area. Lightning max wind gusts for yesterday. So we observed over 1,300 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes yesterday. So certainly a very active and dynamic weather day with widespread wind gusts in excess of 30 to 40 miles an hour. Note some higher gusts approaching 60 miles an hour up there towards McCall and further southwest towards Jarbidge. Fire and smoke maps. With that precipitation, air quality has significantly improved. There will be some regional haze out there towards the later part of today, but outside of that, air quality is expected to be good, with no air quality alerts in effect from the Idaho Department of Environmental Quality. Let's break down that precipitation timing. So you can see that moderate to heavy rain down there in the Southeast Highlands this morning. And that will generally track east into Wyoming with some lingering impacts along the Wyoming border, and may just see a passing shower up towards the Continental Divide this morning. As those storms shift further east, we will get a pretty good break midday today, so it looks like things will start to clear out. We will have, as far as noontime goes, storm chances do increase back in the Eastern Highlands, and they will be generating about 12 to 3 p.m. today across the central mountains. And again, these storms are going to be tracking west to east throughout the day, just carrying that threat again for some breezy winds, some small hail, and again, the potential for some moderate to heavy rain with some of these cells. As we get towards the later part of tonight, it's going to be another dry evening, so it looks like by tonight, midnight tonight, will be mostly clear as far as precipitation out of the area, with showers and storms lifting north for tomorrow morning, with some more widespread impacts moving in for your Saturday. High temperatures for today. So high temperatures this afternoon are going to be very seasonal for in the low 60s to mid 70s. So 62 up in Island Park, 67 in Stanley, 73 in Pocatello, and 75 in Twin Falls. And here's a picture of a webcam this morning, northeast of Idaho Falls up towards Thornton this morning, recording less than quarter-mile visibility up there. So certainly something to keep in mind as you're headed out the door. Take a look at probability of rainfall today. So it looks like best chances for achieving a about a tenth of an inch or more, will be east of the Snake River Plain today. So it looks like best chances again, that precip working north will be a favored area as that precipitation shifts further north up towards the Eastern Highlands. As far as breaking a quarter, so well in Texas, Southeast Highlands up through the same area, looking pretty good for about a tenth to quarter, if not more, with some of those locally higher amounts trading through there. So certainly looking like a good rainfall event for western Wyoming and eastern Idaho today, slightly less as you get further west. High temperatures on Saturday, so this is looking to be the coldest day of the month that we're going to see so far. So temperatures are going to continue to fall for tomorrow, just given the enhanced troughiness as an area of low pressure again works down the Pacific coast. And we will have high temperatures for your Saturday in the mid-60s to low 70s. So Pocatello only at 69 degrees, up near Ashton 66, Stanley 68, and slightly warmer as you get into the Magic Valley. Probability rainfall for your Saturday, so looking at least a slightly more widespread, generally about a 20 to 30% chance of achieving about a tenth of an inch or more for your Saturday. And speaking of rain and snowfall amounts, this is taking a look at through the weekend. So this is the Saturday through midnight. So as far as looking at precipitation totals, see the Southeast Highlands out towards there, Montpelier area. So definitely going to see some impactful precipitation. That 0.88 they saw this morning, so could see some additional rainfall as well. And we did observe some snowfall yesterday up in the Lost River Range and Tetons, and expecting that to continue with snow levels generally hovering around that 10,000 to 11,000 foot mark. So certainly some light accumulating snowfall up through the Pioneers, Boulders, White Cloud Wilderness, through the Lost Rivers and Lemhi, Beaver Heads, and out through the Tetons. High temperatures and your wind gusts for Sunday. So high temperatures do warm up pretty significantly by about 5 to 10 degrees for your Sunday, with widespread highs returning back to the upper 60s to near 80 degrees. Wind gusts are going to be about 20 to 40 miles an hour. Could see some locally higher gusts up in the higher terrain of the Southeast Highlands and along the Continental Divide, but should just be slightly breezy for Idaho standards. Probability of rainfall for your Sunday. So those storm chances do shift further north, still carrying about a 10 to 30% chance of receiving a tenth of an inch or more in the Snake Plain, but best chances again are going to be up towards the Central Mountains. High temperatures and wind gusts for your Monday. So keeping with that warming trend, everyone is going to be in the 70s for Monday, except Island Park will squeak out there in the upper 60s. But outside of that, everyone will be in the 70s for your Monday with another down or breezy winds. Nothing too impressive, just mainly about 25 to 35 miles an hour. And for Monday, you start to see that hot and dry trend. So as far as hot for this time of year, normal highs are going to be in the upper 60s to low 60s as you get into the mountains. So certainly with approaching 80 degrees for mid to late September, certainly above normal for this time of year. But as far as the probability of rainfall, it's not going to be as far as a moist air mass moving in. Hot and dry is going to be the going trend for early next week, with light precipitation chances possible, but generally remaining very isolated in nature. High temperatures for your Tuesday remaining fairly consistent. Now everybody's going to be in the 70s, including Island Park, but up there George Spencer will be in these upper 60s for that day. But it looks like, approaching that 80-degree mark, so Tuesday looks to be one of the warmer days for next week. But as we get towards midweek, we do have an area of low pressure that I was talking about working down the Pacific coast. Now will be working its way towards Idaho around that Wednesday, Thursday time frame, with a return to some widespread precipitation impacts and cooler temperatures. And for Tuesday, we're looking again at just a slight chance for some storms as far as generating about a tenth of an inch or more of rain, about 20 to 30% in the mountains, and about 10 to 20% as you get down low in the valleys. In summer this morning, did that widespread precipitation impacts that continued into this morning. Looking at some widespread rainfall yesterday with the highest totals across the Snake Plain and Southeast Highlands. And we did see the Bear Lake Airport record almost an inch in the last 2 hours. So certainly highlighting that heavy rain threat out there. Morning showers and thunderstorms will become more isolated this afternoon. Going to take a break about midday today with thunderstorms redeveloping between noon and 3 o'clock. Primary threats with some of these storms this afternoon. Just be some general breezy winds, small hail, and some heavy rain isolated with those. And with precipitation impacts continuing through the weekend. We're going to see some warmer conditions for your Sunday and Monday, ahead of a cool down for midweek as we get our approaching system working in. So hopefully some more precipitation working in around that Wednesday, Thursday time frame after a slight warm up for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But that wraps up your weather briefing for today, Friday, September 16th. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to send us an email, give us a call, or check out some information on our website. Have an awesome weekend.